Hello. Shrikala, madam.
Yes, sir.
Okay, madam. You are there. You are joined, madam. Okay.
Yes, sir. I've joined.
Okay. I welcome all the participants for the afternoon session. We have the afternoon session, Stress Management and Ethics by Mr. S. Shrikala from Art of Living. We welcome you, madam. With around 15 years of experience in corporate industry, she holds a variety of experience across product and service domain in stellar organizations across domain. She is currently the director of program management at Gojek and plays an interesting part to bring people and strategists together. Shrikala is PMP ISTQB certified and has been a regular trainer for senior managers. She has been a regular trainer for senior managers at various firms in the industry. She has also written various papers on global conferences like QAI, STEP in Summit, and delivers talks on topics from program and people management in various communities for past 10 years. As an engineer from the prestigious BMS College of Engineering, Shrikala is a self-driven individual and has a passion to teach. Shrikala also co-founded Robukul Inc. in 2010 as a hobby to bring in robotics awareness in children. This venture made her the recipient of the prestigious 10,000 Women Scholarship in 2011 by the Goldman Sachs and Indian School of Business, Hyderabad, a recognition given to the top 120 women potential entrepreneurs in the country in a year. A professional orator for over 17 years, she has been a key role motivational speaker, panelist at various global forums, winner over 300 awards in various debates. She was awarded the Crowning Governor Award for Excellence in Karnataka, India by Her Highestness Srimati Rama Devi in year 2000. She is also a regular writer in LinkedIn and a motivational speaker at various conferences and believes in sharing what she knows to learn more. She also volunteers as a youth faculty for the Art of Living Foundation and uses her skills towards empowerment programs. As a trained yoga and meditational teacher for over 12 years, she has trained more than 1,000 of youths on stress management. She has also given numerous talks on mental health and using the power of mind to excel in life at various forums across the society, spanning rehab centers, economically backward slums to premier colleges and corporates. She is also a trained practitioner of an ancient healing technique called Sri Sri Marma. An explorer, she also has been done theater, radio voice overs and sports. She represented the state to victory in throwball. She was ranked national 2 in women's karate in the knockout fight category in 2001. We welcome you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. So good afternoon, everybody. It's always a pleasure to be part of sessions at the FTP. And why do I say that? Is because if there is one section of the society that makes a difference to the past, the present, and the future of a country, it is the community of educators, right? Because if you see in educators, right from the time a child is just comfortable with walking, running, parents hand over the child in the hands of a teacher, right? And it is just not the teacher, but the entire set of ecosystem around education that actually makes this child what it is, right? So if you actually look at the fact that, this child is just given in raw clay form to this sculptor, they can make any shila they want. That is the role of educators in our society. So you take the past of the child, irrespective of where they come from, what they do, you create their present, you groom them, you mold them, you nurture them. And you do that for what? You do it so that they become the future of the country. So which is why the faculty community is something that gets a lot of respect. And especially considering that we are 2 days post Dr. Abdul Kalam's anniversary, the day where we remember what it is to be such a powerful teacher. How much can you change, right? So thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be part of this session. So let's start with the session with a very, very simple question. So first of all, I have about 300 slides, that's all. Okay, and I target to complete this in about 1.5 hours. I'm pretty sure you all are comfortable since all of you have been doing that. So just feel free to ask me any questions. Okay, and if you thought that was true, sorry, no, right? So we will not have 300 slides. The session is going to be far more interactive and two-way versus me killing your afternoon with slides. But for that, I have a request. At any point of time, it is always interesting to talk to human faces rather than English alphabets on the screen, right? Especially if it's an afternoon session. So if there is value for your time, then I request you all, let's take 30 seconds and please switch on our cameras, because this session is going to be a very experiential session where we're going to be doing some exercises as well. So we need to have our cameras on. I will wait until all of you have your camera on. It doesn't matter if you're not camera ready. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in a car and somebody is driving. If you are driving, please don't switch on the camera. Don't even switch on the audio. For everybody else, my humble request is that we switch on our cameras. Yeah, if you don't have a camera in your desktop, that is fine. But for all other practical purposes and possibilities, let's have it on. Okay, 15 seconds more. Yeah, whoever has, please switch it on. The others, now that you've told me you don't have it, we will have an audio chat with you. Everybody. Another 10 seconds more. 10, 9, 8. We are 63 of us on this call. So we should at least have the camera on for at least 35 people, right? Even if the others don't have the camera, this much should be possible. Fine. Okay. So my first question to you all is, today our topic, our theme for today afternoon is stress and ethics. Very, very big words in my life, right? In everybody's life. Such a big word. We have not figured out what is stress in our life, but we have started talking about, how to manage stress and how stress has to do with ethics. So I want to understand from you all. Feel free to unmute and share. What, according to you, is stress? Okay, I'm going to start by, yeah, it's fine if you don't have your camera on now. It's okay. You'd rather type on the chat the answers to our questions. What is your definition of stress?
Making us to work with deadlines.
Okay, so when you work with deadlines, there is stress that comes up. Yes, I can totally relate to it. Like if you have to cook before that first class in the morning and make sure everybody has eaten and the plates are not left on the table, it does cause stress. Okay, what else? What else is stress? What is your understanding of stress? There is no right and wrong in this. Lakshmi madam, let's hear from you.
Something you can't manage, ma'am.
Something you can't manage. Okay, very good.
Having unwanted thoughts, which are
Unwanted
actually
thoughts.
not, we need not to spend time on that, but they will come.
Yeah, very good. So, something that you're not able to manage, there's a lot of thoughts that are coming. You can't do anything about it, but it has to come. Like my mother-in-law will never find me a great cook, but the thought will come, right?
True.
Okay, what else? Very nice. More work in the department.
More work and less salary.
Perennial situation, no matter which company, what role, what job you do, this is something that always happens. More work and less salary. Okay, very interesting. That causes stress. Hectic work to manage. Okay, absolutely very true. Any other answers? What do you think is stress?
Not doing.
Madam, expectation versus reality.
Expectation is this, reality is this, or expectation is this, but reality is this. Now depends on which side of the hand you are. If you are here and you think this is, right? And then you walk into your class and you have 60 students all putting virtual backgrounds and irritating you. What happens? Reality is totally different, right? What happened when the pandemic started? All of us thought, oh, thank God, we don't have to battle Bangalore's traffic. We can sit at home and take classes. All I have to arrange is for a little bit of infrastructure. 1 month, 2 months down the lane, what happened? Things started changing. It was no longer 1 year later. Aren't you all itching to get back to physical classes? Yeah, where you can teach those sessions and throw that chalk piece on that person who is sleeping. Yeah, if you're not doing it, you're the nicer kind. Please do it. There are students like us in the class who genuinely deserve a chalk piece on our head. Yeah, unknown fear, such a beautiful answer. Yeah. So, when you have stress, the one thing that's very, very common is a lot of these emotions that you're talking about. Okay, so let's understand a little about what is stress. Okay, and for this, I am just going to share my screen. Can you see my deck? Can you see my slide share? Give me a minute. For some reason, this is already.
Ma'am, we can see.
You can see the slide deck, is it? Okay, very good. Yes. Okay, so when we talk of stress, okay, what is our fundamental definition of stress? Is that you have too much to accomplish, but very little time. Just half an hour before the session, I was getting ready for the session and I have 2 children. My daughter is in 5th standard and I had her classmate. She is telling the teacher that, Madam, I don't like exams and tests because it causes a lot of stress. Can you believe we have come to a time where we are saying 10-year-olds are saying that they are stressed, right? I don't even know if I recognize the meaning of stress until maybe a few years ago. Forget recognizing the meaning. I don't think we even heard this word when we were young. Don't you think so? How many of you agree? Yeah. So a lot has changed. A lot has changed over years. What is stress? Stress is basically having too much to do and too little time. If I give you 5 hours to in pleasure correct a single answer sheet, there is no stress. But if I say in 5 hours, you have to correct 500 papers, there is stress. Correct? Yeah. And if you say that if you have enough time, you can do everything under the sun, but you don't have, all of us have only 24 hours a day. If you have anything more than that, I'm willing to pay money to buy it, but none of us have it, right? So this is the first perspective. The second one is that we have too much to do, but too little energy. Yeah, you want to pursue a hobby, you want to take care of the house, you want to have an excellent flourishing career. Yeah, you want to play with the children, you want to mentor, coach, and guide your students. At the same time, you want to get some fitness regime. You want to do all of this. You want to do walking for 45 minutes a day because your doctor told you. All of this is there, but there is no energy for it. There is absolutely no energy. You finish a long day, and at the end of the day, if somebody says, "Come on, let's play badminton for 1 hour," does it strike to you? It doesn't. Right? So, too much to do and too less energy. The third perspective, too much to decide and too less clarity. You have so many decisions that we take from day to day to hour to moment to moment. You have to take decisions at home. You have to take decisions at the workplace. You have to take decisions with respect to your aging parents, maybe. You have to take decisions with respect to your children. You have to take decisions with respect to your students. You have to take decisions with respect to your own self, right? You have so many decisions to take, but there is no clarity in that, right? See, if everything was linear, right? If everything was linear in life, it's very simple. This is the input, this is the output. Yeah, if you give this as your input parameters, this is what is your output. It's so easy for us like that. But unfortunately, life doesn't follow that principle. Life doesn't follow a linear principle at all. And therefore, what happens is that very often you're stuck with no clarity. You don't know if you have to buy that house because your EMI is going to be like this. You don't know if your jobs are secure. You don't know if your students are going to react. You don't know if the syllabus is going to change. You don't know if you have to upgrade yourself to become the next level professor. Yeah? You want to do it, but you don't know how. You don't have clarity on it, right? This is a third reason where stress happens, third framework where it happens. Stress next is when you have too much to stabilize, but too less grounding. Like I said, you have various aspects in life, career, relationships, your social responsibility, your own spiritual growth, right? Your hobbies. You have so many aspects to life. But what is happening is that you are not able to stabilize, right? The moment you start something, somewhere else firefighting is happening. You're starting something, something else is blowing up. You want to do this, but something else, you're not having that grounding, right? You want to start a business, but you don't have investment, right? You want to get to walking 1 hour a day, but your knees are hurting, right? That anchor is not there in your life. They will say this. There's a saying in Kannada. What is that? Bisi tindre ushna, tannik tindre chali. Something on those lines. A very beautiful proverb.
And Manglarti.
Manglarti, exactly. Manglarti andre ushna. And what is it for?
Tirtha togondre Shita.
Tirtha togondre Shita, Manglarti togondre ushna. Such a beautiful thing. So whatever you do, something else will go wrong. Yeah, and something else will come up. Or you say this is what will happen. And then what happens is that you are thrown off the ground. You're thrown off the ground. So there is no stability. So at every point of time, what happens? Fear comes, insecurity comes, doubt about your own abilities come, right? And that causes so much stress. And then the fifth angle, too much to grow and too less confidence. Everybody wants to work in a high paying job, paying the best salaries, right? But it's not happening. Right? You want to grow in life in so many other aspects. But what is happening? There's no confidence. Hasn't it happened to your students? Right? They all want to crack campus placements in the first couple of days. But what decides between a top achiever not cracking the interview and somebody else cracking the interview? Finally, it's the same set of algorithms that they will ask you to write. Right? But when you sit down in front of the interviewer, right? How you perform there, how confident you appear there is what decides whether you'll crack it or not. Yeah. And as somebody from the corporate, I can tell you that that's one of the first things that we see in freshers, right? And as seasoned faculty that you are, you know what it means. When a student is confident, you also are energized to help them out. Yeah. So too much to accomplish, too little time. Too much to do, too little energy. Too much to decide, too less clarity. Too much to stabilize, too less grounding. Too much to grow, too less confidence. All of this leads to this amazing word in our lives called as stress. Do you agree with me? Give me a thumbs up if you agree with me. Yeah. And all of this leads to stress. And what happens is that if you realize that ethics is inversely proportional to stress. Yeah. When you talk of ethics, what does it mean? It means that there is a certain set of values, there's a certain set of embodiment of virtues, right? That make life think beyond what you are. But the truth is, you cannot serve or live a life that is beneficial to others if you cannot take care of your own self. And the first thing that we need to take care of in ourselves is how we manage our mind, is how we manage our negative emotions. Now, all those understanding of stress that you put, all the negative emotions, the insecurity, the fear, unable to manage it, yeah, the feeling of ayo enak bidatte, yeah, when all of that comes together, what is happening? Your mind is doing its own journey. And at that point of time, what comes out is stress. When you are stressed, you are not going to talk ethics. You just want to get out of that situation. Has it happened or not? Yeah. How many times has it happened that when you feel intimidated by somebody, yeah, you just want to shout and give it back? If somebody makes you feel useless in life, do you sit down and say, come, sit down. Let's talk over idli vada coffee. Does that happen? Yeah. See, all of your cameras are off. So unless you give me a thumbs up or a chat or something, I will assume that all of you are sleeping and I'm singing a lullaby to you. Okay. So if your cameras are not on, at least please make sure you're responding on chat. Otherwise, I will suddenly start singing to you. Okay, good. So the truth is that when you are in a situation where you have either fright or flight, right? Fight or flight, what will you do? You will not think about ethics. If a tiger is in front of you, you will not think about ethics. You will only think about saving yourself, right? And that's how we are wired as human beings. So if you want to be extremely ethical in life and therefore be a better human being and therefore be a better citizen, and therefore be a better addition to this planet, the first thing that you need to handle is stress, because you need to handle your own mind. Now, in all the scenario that I showed you, right, the only variable parameter is energy. Right? See, time is fixed. It's a fixed parameter. Yeah, none of us can get more than 24 hours. Too much to decide. Hello, we all have to take decisions in life. You cannot just walk in tomorrow and say, okay, from today onwards, I am not going to decide anything for my students. Let them decide. Will your heart permit? It will not happen. Right? When you have to stabilize, can you suddenly say, okay, I don't mind. This aspect of my life can be absolutely chaotic. I don't care. Yeah, no, as human beings, we are wired to have peace in our life, right? So too much to stabilize, you cannot change that. Stability also, you need to do it. Too much to grow, come on, yeah. If you don't have the aspiration to grow, what is the difference between you and that wall? Yeah, we all want to get better in whatever we are doing to the best of our abilities, not comparing, right? So when that is there, the only thing that can be changed is the amount of energy. What differentiates two people? Okay, say there's Professor A, who is very good at teaching, okay, and post 6 p.m. he's actually conducting tuition classes, say free of cost for 100 students in a free ground so that they all benefit. Versus, and then, you know, that continues for a period of time and the teacher becomes very famous and a lot of people come to them. Versus another person who's doing an excellent job in teaching the same thing, but at the end of the day, there is no energy to do anything else, right? And we all know if we have to upgrade our skills, I'm pretty sure you also have papers to write, white papers you have to submit, research papers you have to submit. If you're, for those of you who are doing your doctorates, you have to keep defending. Yeah, once you defend it, it's not enough. You have to train others to become like you. Yeah, so there's something that you have to keep doing. Right? And in all of this, the only thing that makes you different from others is how much energy you have when everybody else is out of energy. Do you agree with me? Do you see that this is a game changer? right? Now, you cannot change everything else. But the truth is, you can change the amount of energy that you have. So the first thing, how do we do it? There are different sources of energy that we have. The first source of energy is food. Yeah. In food, normally when you talk of food, we think food is something to fill the space in our body. Yeah. We don't look food as a life changer. Yeah. Do you agree food is a source of energy? Yeah. How do you feel like when you don't have food for a long period of time? Yeah. How do you feel when you don't have food? Yeah. You're hungry and angry. If you're somebody like me, you will just pick up the next possible person near you and eat them up. Yeah. So some of us are very, very hungry all the time. Right. So food is a big source of energy. Now, in food, there is a secret. How much food you eat, how you eat, when you eat, with whom you eat, all of that matters. If you're going to be eating a food where somebody is all the time cursing and complaining, then what you eat, you will become like that. There's a very beautiful saying, Jaisa an, vaisa man. You become what you eat. So if you're going to be eating stale food, your energy is going to be drained. It's going to be stale. Yeah. If you are going to be eating junk food, then your health is going to be junk. Right? So one aspect is nutrition, but the other aspect is how much energy that particular food has. Right? So that is our first source of energy. The second source of energy is sleep. Right? Is everybody okay till here? Yeah, with food as a source of energy. Any questions till here? Any questions? Okay, good. So now the second part, which is the sleep. Now, when we talk of sleep, normally sometimes we find it as a crime to sleep. Yeah, but the truth is, right now, there's a beauty to sleep. I was just reading somewhere, and I read this article which came out in the newspaper. I can't recollect which paper, but I think it must have been Indian Express. It said that the world's biggest pandemic that we are not seeing yet is sleep deficit. How many of you agree? The sleep quality has changed so much over the decades. Yes or no? Yeah. Our great grandfathers and grandfathers and grandmothers used to very comfortably go to sleep. But today, the stimulation is so high on the brain that, and even as a yoga and meditation teacher, yeah, 70% of the people who come, they come saying, I am not able to sleep well enough. All the lifestyle diseases that you see, diabetes, hypertension, hormonal imbalances, infertility, all of these that you see is because we have compromised on our sleep cycle. It had become fashionable to say, I need just 5 hours of sleep a day. I need just 4 hours of sleep a day. Yes, if you're meditating for 2 hours, you need only 4 hours a day. But if you're not giving your system that rest, this is like having a machine continuously on. There will be wear and tear, my dear. Do you agree with this? Yeah. When we talk, the body is not a machine. The body is not a machine. Even in factories, they shut down production for a day for maintenance. But here to sleep, we make such a big deal. Right? So sleep is definitely a big source of energy. Haven't you felt it that you've had great sleep one night? Next morning, you wake up ready to conquer the world. The same thing if you have not.
Ma'am, no voice.
Sorry, I think I got disconnected. I'm back. Can you see me? I think
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
the
Fine.
internet connection dropped, so I just suddenly got signed out. Okay, so have you seen that? I want you to tell me that when you have been very upset or very down and out or very tired, what is the first thing that you will do? You will feel like saying, "Oh, I just want to sleep." Yeah.
Sleep.
Does it happen? Yeah. Now, the same thing, whenever you have not had sleep, when you have not had proper sleep, write in the chat, right? How has your emotions been the following day? What has been your emotions? Say you have not slept for 2-3 nights continuously. One day we will do, yeah, all of us will do. Night outs, we all do, whether it is assignments or work or whatever. There have been times we do it. 2-3 days, if you don't sleep continuously, I want you to tell me what are the emotions that you feel. Yes, Dr. Ramya says restless, very good. Cry for sleep, absolutely. Very restless, yeah. Feeling irritated, acidity, what a brilliant observation. Thank you so much. People think acidity is only about popping pills. Sleep deficit is one of the first reasons for acidity. Feeling irritated, says Lindsay. Absolutely, very good. You cry to go to sleep. Okay. No energy to do any work. Absolutely, yeah. See, you have the answers. I'm not telling you. And do you feel energetic or do you feel tired? You feel tired. That is why all this comes. See, when do you get irritated? You want to do so much, but you are like, oh, I can't do it. Yeah, somebody do it for me. Yeah. So irritation comes when you feel helpless. When does that come? When you don't have the energy, right? So when there is lack of sleep, yeah, it's different from a normal day. Absolutely. Yeah, like how Sunil says, it's different. When you don't sleep, it's different from a normal day. Even if the simplest things can come in front of you, you will find fault with it and fight. Right? Why? Because lack of energy. Right? So the second source of energy, which is sleep. When you sleep well, you are taking care of your body to energize itself. Yeah? And there's a secret, by the way. There's an entire workshop that we run for sleep, but a human adult needs 6 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep in the night. Everybody says 6 to 8 hours. But what do? They sleep at 1 o'clock and then they say that I sleep till 9 o'clock. No, it doesn't work like that. By 10 o'clock, your maintenance department is going to start its job, which is your liver, right? If you're asleep by 10, you're actually aiding your body to recuperate, regenerate, and repair. And that is a sign to remain young. Yeah, that is a sign to remain young, which is why they call it as beauty sleep. They call it as beauty sleep. Why? Because you radiate the beauty out of good health. Okay, so that is your second source of energy. The third source of energy, which we are going to talk about now, is the happy state of mind. Right? See, how do you feel when you are with your best friends or with your cousins that you meet after a long time, or your relatives you meet after your long time? How do you feel when everybody meets? Do you feel irritated? Do you feel bored? What do you feel? What happens? Come on, quickly type on the chat. How do you feel when you meet a good set of friends whom you like? Okay, not the ones you don't like, but the ones whom you like. How do you feel? Feel free to unmute and share. Yeah, you feel very happy. Yeah. Very good. What else? Very good. Now tell me, when do you feel you have a happy state of mind? What is it that anything you do, right? You feel energized when you do that. Yes or no? You feel very happy about doing it, right? Like for me, sports and music is something I get a lot of happiness about. I get a lot of happiness about it. Yeah, good. Yeah. So, anything that you personally like when you do it that gives you happiness, right? You feel very, very energized. Yes or no? Yeah. Now, how long can you stay without food? How long can you stay without food? Come on, tell me. 2 days. Okay. Wow. Ravi Kumar sir, you are God. 2 days you can stay without food. Wow. Okay. Half a day. Okay. Helen
I
sees
had, madam. I had experience of 2 days.
2 days. Okay. Very good. Yeah. So when you do a continuous Ekadashi, sometimes you do it for 2 days. So 2 days is doable. Yeah. 4 to 5 days. Okay. One time. You can only miss one meal. Okay. 12 hours. Excellent. Great. Yeah. How long can you stay without sleep? Next question. How long can you stay without sleep? Come on, type that out quickly or unmute and tell me. 24 hours? No, not possible, says Dr. Ramya. Not possible, max 1 day. Okay. Yeah, approximately. Okay. Now, food, you can stay for a few hours or a couple of days, 4 or 5 days, maybe. Yeah, if you one meal, one time. Sleep, you okay, 1 day, max 2 days. You will stay without it. How long can you stay without a happy state of mind? How long can you stay without a happy state of mind? Type that, type that. How long can you stay without a happy state of mind? Some people live lifelong. They don't even realize that they are eligible for a happy state of mind. Yeah, so they keep, yeah, exactly. Such a beautiful perspective, not checked. Do you see that? We just take our happiness for granted. The moment somebody asks you a question, you're like, oh, how Dalva? Correct. How long? We are not even aware of the happiness quotient of our life. You know, there is IQ in this world. There is EQ in this world. There is CQ in this world. There is SQ in this world. But there is no HQ, unfortunately, which is happiness quotient. Now, if we all had a score which decided on how happy one person is, and we had to be hired or fired based on that, the world would have been a different place. I have seen top executives with ideally everything in their hands, but HQ is absolutely zero. Yeah. So without a happy state of mind, some people live lifetimes without even realizing that there is an eligibility like that. Yeah. But the truth is, how long can you stay without the breath? 1 day, one time, 12 hours, 4 to 5 days, without the breath. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is our mindset. So how long can you stay without the breath? Come on, the next source of energy, answer. How long can you stay without the breath? 60 seconds. Okay. That is if you're trained to go to the Himalayas and, you know, kind of be a soldier in the Siachen, then it works. Yeah. So hardly few moments you can stay without the breath. And let me give you some simple statistics. Yeah. Simple statistics are that as adults, we use just 30% of our lungs. Okay. And here's the news. 90% of our toxins go out through the breath. 90% of the toxins in our system goes out through the breath. When I say toxins, what do I mean? Yeah? Physical as well as chemical toxins. They go out through the breath. We are just contradicting the whole law of nature. We are saying that as adults, we are using just 30% of our lungs, which means it's like the main channel which carries sewage out of your house is blocked. Why? Because we are not breathing right. Yeah? What is the first thing that you did when you were born? Breathing in. What is the last thing that you are going to do on this planet? Breathing out. Life is between this breathing in and breathing out. When were you last aware of this fact that life is just about this breathing in and breathing out? Yeah. When you were born, you took a breath in and everybody smiled. If you have lived an amazing life, when you take your last breath, people will cry. A problem comes when people laugh and smile and celebrate even when you are gone. Yeah. But by using masks, we are clogging the breath. Yes, thanks to a lot of irresponsibility of us as human beings, we have the pandemic where we are today. Yeah. Of course, it's a brilliant topic for a different day. But yes, this is something where what we have done to the planet is slapping us and giving it back to us. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's clogging the breath. But the truth is, and you know what, we consume about 1 kg of food a day, 1 kg, 1.5 kgs a day of food. Yeah. How much water do you consume? About 3 to 4 liters. Yeah, 3 to 4 liters of water. How much sleep do you get? 6 to 8 hours of sleep, 5 to 8 hours of sleep. But do you know how much of air you breathe in and breathe out every day? 10,000 liters of air is what you breathe in and breathe out. Right? And what are we doing? We are forgetting. We are not even aware that we have to be breathing right. We are not even aware that you're breathing, first of all. Right? When has that last happened? Right? You only recollect, you're aware of your breathing when you have to run and catch that bus in front of you and you're late and you see it moving away there. Then when you run is when you're actually aware of your breath. Otherwise, you're not. Yeah. We have ignored our prime source of energy. And therefore, so many problems have followed. Now, all this, why am I emphasizing so much about stress? Is that only when, see, we have understood the link between ethics and stress. If one person is calm, is composed, is happy, you automatically feel like doing something for somebody, correct? All of us feel like it, no? On a good day, when the mood is very good, you feel like helping out people. Yeah? So when you're calm, composed, and happy, ethics is a very natural part of you because we are wired like that as human beings. But when that is not the case, when you're stressed, you're not going to be thinking about ethics. Now, if you know this, but madam, what do I do? How do I manage stress? First, understand how to increase your energy. How does that increase in energy happen? That increase in energy happens right under your nose through the breath. Yeah. If you can breathe right, then you will see that stress can be handled through the breath. So I'll ask you a question. You're sitting on, so I'm going to take the name of, say Sadashiv sir is here. Okay. And Sadashiv sir, which beach in Karnataka do you like?
Sorry, please repeat the question.
Which beach, which sea do you like in Karnataka? Which is your favorite place?
Gokarna.
Gokarna. Oh, beautiful. How can somebody not like Gokarna? Yeah. So let's imagine that Sadashiv sir is sitting in Gokarna. Okay. And he's enjoying the sunset. Okay. He's enjoying the sunset and his mood is very, very calm. You know, it is semester holidays. He's finished all his assignments, submissions, everything is done. Nobody is disturbing him. Yeah, and he's sitting and just watching the sunset. How is Sadashiv sir's breathing going to be? It's going to be deep and long. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's enjoying all of this and suddenly he gets a call from his neighbor who is an absolutely irritating person. Okay, and he picks up a fight with Sadashiv sir. What is going to happen to Sadashiv sir? He's going to get angry and he's going to give it back, let's assume. Even if he's not giving back, inside he is bubbling with anger. How is his breath going to be? It's going to be very fast. Has it going to happen? Yeah, the breath is going to be very fast when you're angry. Do you agree with me? And this is not just specific to Sadashiv sir. This is specific to all of us as human beings. Yeah. So when you breathe calm, your breath is in a certain way. When you are upset, When you have negative emotions, you breathe in a certain way. For somebody who is having anxiety, how is the breath going to be? It's going to be very fast. Yes or no? For somebody who's very happy, listening to their, they're generally very, very happy people in life. You see, they will be also very calm. Yeah. So if your negative, if any emotion has a direct impact on your breath, it means that your breath also has an impact on your emotions. Right? This is like one of those mathematical relations. If A can influence B, then B can also influence A. A being your emotions and B being your breath. Now another angle. Okay, another angle. Thank you, Sadashiv sir. I picked up your name. Okay. So another angle is that I'm going to ask Senoj. Okay. So Senoj Joseph, I'm going to ask you a question that say you're feeling very, very enthusiastic about something, right? You have, say, a wedding at home of your favorite cousin, your favorite friend. There's a lot of work to do, right? But still, how is the energy level? How is the energy level? Are you going to feel good or are you going to feel bad?
We need more energy, but we feel less.
Sorry, sir, say that again, please. Sorry, your voice.
We need more energy at that time, but
Yeah,
we'll be lacking.
but you feel very good. Senod sir, are you from Kerala?
Yes, ma'am.
So especially if you're having a nice wedding in Kerala amongst the greens, yeah, with everybody coming, right? Amongst all of that, even though there is a lot of work, you're going to thoroughly enjoy it. Correct?
Correct.
At the same time, if you have to do something extremely, say you have a fight with somebody in that wedding, okay, and it is draining you completely, will you have the physical energy to do any work after that?
No, ma'am.
That means here comes the next connection. When you're physically, you're taken care of, when you're fit, you're fine, your mood is also taken care of. Mentally, when you're upset, what do you say? Oh, I have a headache. I just want to go and sleep. Has it happened? So when the mind is not all right, thank you, Sanod sir, for being part of our volunteering. So when your mind is not all right, the body also feels very tired. Do you agree? Have you all noticed it? Yeah. If you're doing work the whole day at night, 9 o'clock, you are screaming and shouting at everybody. Why? You're tired. Yeah. So there is a direct link between the state of your body to your emotions, the state of your body to your breath. The one thing that links the body and the mind is the breath. When have we ever thought of breath being a solution to stress management? We have never done it. Right? So the first thing is stress can be managed. Stress can be managed easily. That's the good news. The good news is that stress can be managed just through your own breath. A lot of the world is now talking about mindfulness, breath work, all of this. What are they talking about? Simple pranayama that we have been doing for generations together now. Unfortunately, we have lost it in such a way that people don't realize its benefit. Yeah, but simple things that we can implement can be a game changer in our life. All that we require to become ethical, successful, happy, and peaceful is increasing the energy level. How do you increase the level? Through your breath. Right? So over the next few minutes, we are going to experience what it is to experience your mind and the breath. Are you all with me? Are you with me? I want everybody to give me a thumbs up. Okay. Even if your camera is off, I want to know because we're going to do a lovely experiential session now. Okay, good. So come on, give me the thumbs up, everybody. Only 3-4 of you have given me a thumbs up. Everybody else has gone back to sleep. Yeah. Okay, so we are going to officially sleep now. Okay, so we're going to do a little breath work. What we're going to do is to just breathe in and breathe out. I will guide you through it. Okay, and then you see how it feels like, and then we will do a short meditation. Okay, you will keep your eyes closed for that. During the meditation, if you open your eyes and do it, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change in your life. Okay, I will remain here. You will also remain there, and nothing will happen. Yeah, but what we will do is we will experience the power of the breath, and then we will do a short meditation, and then we will identify, we'll see how the mind feels. Is everybody okay? Is everybody game? So sit comfortably and easily, everybody. If you're walking right now, just sit comfortably and easily. Let's sit comfortably and easily. Take a normal breath in and breathe out. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to take deep breaths in and out. Okay, so I will just guide you. Normal breath is how you're normally breathing. Deep breath is where you mindfully take a deep breath in. Okay, okay, so let's keep the eyes closed. We're going to do a very simple alternate nostril breathing, where you will breathe in through the left nostril, breathe out through the right, breathe in through the right, and breathe out through the left. This is one cycle. Okay, I'll repeat. One cycle of breath is breathe in through the left, breathe out through the right, breathe out, breathe in through the right, breathe out through the left. Like that, we will continue for few cycles. Is that okay? It's a very simple alternate breathing technique. So let's sit with our spine erect. Your palms can be on your lap, facing upwards. Keep the eyes closed. Take a nice deep long breath in. Now keep your finger in this position. Your thumb is covering one nostril and the ring finger is covering the other nostril. Breathe in from the left and breathe out from the right. Breathe in from the right and breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in from the right and breathe out through the left. Once again, breathe in from the right, from the left. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in from the right. Breathe out through the left and continue. Take nice deep breaths in from the left, out from the right, in from the right, and breathe out through the left. Breathe in from the left and breathe out. Once again, breathe in from the right. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in from the left. Breathe out from the right. Breathe in from the right and breathe out through the left. In through the left and out through the right. In through the right and out through the left. And continue for 2 more cycles on your own. Breathing in and out. Make sure there's a nice smile on your face. And relax, palms on your thighs, open and facing the ceiling. Relax the breath. Keep the eyes closed. And become aware of any thoughts and emotions in the mind and the head. Now, what we're going to do is to learn another beautiful exercise in which we will just breathe out all of this. We're going to use sound vibrations to wipe out all the confusions in our head. Okay, it's called as a Brahmari Pranayam. So you just make a little, use your index finger, put it on the flap of your ear, like this. And then you will breathe in. And as you breathe out, you just make the sound of a bee. And as you do that, you will move the finger in and out. Okay, breathe in. Once again, breathe in. Close your eyes this time. And as you breathe out, make the sound and move the fingers. Breathe in. And breathe out. Once again, breathe in and breathe out. One more deep, long breath in and breathe out. And relax, keep the eyes closed and become aware of the sensations in the face region, any vibrations, any tickly sensations. Just become aware of it. Keep the eyes closed. We'll do a short meditation. Continue to keep the eyes closed and a gentle smile on your face. I will guide you through the instructions. You do not have to do anything. Just listen very, very gently to the instructions. That's all. Let's sit comfortably and easily. Let's just sit as still as possible. Without movement, let's avoid it and sit as still as possible. Take a deep, long breath in and breathe out. Another nice, deep, long breath in and breathe out with a nice, big smile. Have a nice, deep, long breath in. And breathe out. Take another nice, deep, long breath in. And breathe out completely. Right now, there is nothing that you need to do. Just follow the instructions. Take a deep, long breath in And breathe out slowly. Become aware of any sensations in the body, pleasant or unpleasant, any stiffness, any tightness, looseness. Take another nice deep long breath in. And breathe out. There is no need to change anything. Whatever be the sensations in the body, just let it be. Now become aware of your thoughts. Positive or not so positive, just let it be. Don't try to change anything. Whatever be the thoughts, just let it be. Accept it. Yes, this is how it is right now. Now become aware of your emotions. Positive or not so positive, whatever be the emotions, just become aware of it. Just bring your attention to it. There is no need to change anything at all. Everything is welcome. With a big smile, take a deep, long breath in. And breathe out. Keep the eyes closed. Become aware of how something inside of you has started slowing down. Something is settling down. You are peace. You are joy. You just become aware of it. Take a deep, long breath in. And breathe out. Take another nice, deep, long breath in. breathe out completely.
Madam, put on the camera, madam.
Take one more deep, long breath in. And breathe out. Slowly and gradually becoming aware of your body and surroundings. At your own pace, whenever you feel complete, you may open your eyes. Welcome back. How was the feeling? How is the mind? How are you feeling? Quickly share on chat or unmute as well. Okay. Relaxing. Yeah, there's a thumbs up as well. Refreshing. Yeah. Calm. Very nice. Okay. What else? What about the others? How are you feeling? Share, share, share. Yeah. Settling, awareness of the breath, relaxed. Very good. Keep the answers coming. Come on. Yeah. So it is so important. Did you see how just few minutes of what? We didn't do anything complex here. We just did few minutes of breathing in and breathing out. You know, can change so much in our state of mind. Yeah. All we have to do is to just become aware of it. Just become aware of it. And then invest. If you see, hardly we did for about 10 minutes today. Hardly 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day is an investment that you take into yourself. When you do that, automatically you become a happier person to be with. And when you are a happier person, the whole world wants to actually contribute to your life. And when that happens, you will realize that it is so easy to be extremely ethical. You don't have to fight for your survival. Right? So as we conclude, as we come towards the end of the session, right? What is the key? When we talk of the key, yeah, how do you stay stress-free and ethical? Is that, first have a vision. Have a vision that is bigger than yourself. Plan your effort and put it into action. Put it into whatever it is, action, thought, whatever it is, put it into the consciousness. And it is so important that you keep stress away while achieving all of this. Right? So stress is deeply linked to ethics. The more stress-free you are, the more ethical you tend to be. See, what is the principle in the art of living, and in fact, in our culture itself? There is a culture of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What does it mean? Right? It means that there can never be a situation where only I am happy and everybody else around me is unhappy. We are all very, very interlinked. Right? 1.5 years ago, all of us thought in some small village in China, one virus broke out and a lot of people were falling on the road. We saw that video, that went viral. Yeah. Did it imagine that it will touch our doorstep? Yeah. There can never be a situation in the world where somewhere there is something negative, but you still continue to be unaffected by it. So the world being a happier place, a world being a more ethical place, depends on each one of us being stress-free. Yeah. And how do you be stress free? Now you know it. You're empowered. You have small things. So invest your time, your energy into something like this. In fact, this is just a start. At the Art of Living Foundation, we have a fantastic program called as the Online Breath and Meditation Workshop, where we teach a powerful technique called as Sudarshan Kriya. Go Google for it. Yeah. And I have seen lives transform with it, me being included. I definitely feel this is the best investment I made when I was 23. Yeah. Today at 38, I feel more full of life than I could have ever been. Yeah. Because the power to transform your own life and keep it happy and healthy is in your hands. Right? It is only we can take responsibility of that. Yeah. So with that said, opening up for questions. But in the meanwhile, this is my contact. If any of you would like to connect with me over LinkedIn, feel free to connect. And let's open the floor to questions now. Any questions? Please type it on the chat. Feel free to unmute and share. Both are okay. Any questions?
Participants,
Nobody has any questions. Ooh, this is very surprising. Either you all are still meditating or you don't have any questions, and both are okay. Yeah, if the mind is empty, then that's the moral of the story. How long we should practice Sudarshan Kriya per day? 20 minutes. 20 minutes is all it takes to practice the Sudarshan Kriya, which is why a lot of us like it. We don't have 2 hours to concentrate on it, right? We don't have 2 hours bandwidth to invest. So 20 minutes is doable. 20 minutes is all it takes. I think we have a program starting in a couple of weeks. If any of you are interested, you can just drop me a ping. I'll give you my number here. And if any of you want, I can find a program for you and connect it. What else? Any other questions? Mail ID. So I'm far more reachable over WhatsApp. So that's my number. But this is my mail ID. There you go. Yeah. So it's easier to communicate with me over LinkedIn and WhatsApp simply because I'm more active on it. Email is there more from it's a passive communication mode, right? So give some tips to have better sleep. Okay, yeah, that's a very nice question. So the first thing, please understand that lack of sleep happens because of 2 reasons. Too much of restlessness in the body, too much of restlessness in the mind. Okay, if you're sleeping at odd hours, you will not get quality sleep because the body is already in that mode. Right? The best sleep comes when you practice yourself to sleep before 10 p.m. in the night. Okay. 2 hours before sleep, please, 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 and I cannot emphasize this further, please switch off your gadgets. Like stay away from gadgets. No television, no laptops, definitely no mobile phones. Yeah. This is what it does is your brain collects a lot of impressions when you're with gadgets. So while you are thinking you are relaxing, you're not actually relaxing. Yeah, I'm not against watching TV or anything that you do it. But at least 2 hours or at least 45 minutes to an hour before sleep, make sure all gadgets are outside the room. Okay. Don't keep your mobile phone near the bed. Don't do all of that. Yeah. All that causes excessive stimulation to the brain and that reduces the quality of sleep, right? This is one thing that you can do. The next thing that you need to do is that when you meditate well, you get good sleep because when you meditate, simple meditations like what we did, it empties your head of thoughts. That helps the mind to settle down and therefore allows you to go into sleep. Yeah. So that's another good way of having sleep. Another good thing is to watch your food, right? If you're going to be having a lot of packaged food, a lot of restlessness inducing food, yeah, then that is going to reduce your quality of sleep as well. It's called as Rajasic Ahara in Ayurveda. Yeah. So if you're going to have too much of Rajasic Ahara, which is food that makes you restless, then your sleep quality is going to be compromised on. So eat food that is fresh, preferably vegetarian food is Sattvic Ahara, by the way. Yeah. So fresh, vegetarian, light dinners, at least 2 hours before sleep, your dinner should be done, because your body should not be digesting food when it is about to sleep. The digestion department should shut down. Then only the sleep department will take over. Yeah. Otherwise you'll wake up with a big bloat tomorrow morning, the next morning. Yeah. So follow these 3, 4, 5 tips and you'll see that your sleep quality will drastically improve. Yeah. No matter how tough or a long day you have had. Wider sleeping. Yes. Whether sleeping hours changes with age. There is an age element to it, but that typically starts bothering only after 70. That's because of the level of vitamin D absorption. This is also a very good thing. See, we have a gland here which induces sleep to us. Okay, it releases something called as melatonin, if I'm right. When the sun's rays hit this particular place, right, it secretes hormones which help you to sleep in the night. Right now, why does that not happen? As you age, your hormonal imbalances also come into play, and therefore you tend to stay awake a little longer and all of that. But to add to that, if you say, like what is very, very common in all our family groups, I keep teasing my father for it, yeah, is that the older they get, the more late they will send all the WhatsApp forwards. Yeah, do you agree? Yeah, for all those of you who are on WhatsApp groups, you know it, your family groups. Yeah, all those forward jokes will come. It will come at 12 in the night, and I will call up in the morning and say, Appa, why were you awake at that point of time? Just go and sleep. Yeah, and he will tell me, "Thookame varamatingirudadi." So that one way in which I actually helped Dad to change that, and so many thousands of others, is to actually practice the Sudarshan Kriya, because that helps you to empty your head, that helps you to relax the body and the mind, and then you are just go off to sleep. Yeah, there is an age factor, but that is not a defining factor. There are other things also that you can take care of. Okay, next question. Ideal time for meditation, morning or before going to bed? Morning is great, because then what energy you get, you use it throughout the day. Right now, but it's great to also meditate a little before sleep, so that you empty all your head and do it. Like morning, I will spend like a good solid time on my practices, my yoga, my meditation and all of that. But in the night, it's maybe about 5 minutes, just empty everything. Once the children have slept, once the world has slept, okay, let's empty my head, and then you go to sleep, right? Sometimes what happens when you meditate in the night is that you feel very fresh, and then the sleep is gone, right? Every time if I know I have a talk or a tough session to take, I spend some time in that meditation. It helps to bring out that efficiency. Yeah. Great. Ideal sleeping and rising hours. Yes, ideal sleeping and rising hours is ideally 10 p.m. to about 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, the Brahma Muhurtam time is supposed to be the best time to wake up, because it fills you with energy. But if you can't, then at least 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. is a good slot. Yeah. Yes, I will talk a little more about Sudarshan Kriya. So, is breathing exercise in Sudarshan Kriya a secret for your relaxed and smiling face, madam? Thank you very much for the compliment, first of all. And 500%, that is the reason. Okay, see, all of us have factors that can induce stress in our lives, right? So, like I have a full-time job, and I work for Gojek, where my role heads Asia Pacific people and culture. Okay, so which means across 6 countries, we are trying to do things, right? My team and I. So it's a full-fledged corporate job. I have 2 young children, which makes sure that I'm perennially doing ballet dancing, right? We have our families, we have our social circle. I head the state youth programs for Karnataka, which means that, we are talking to colleges day in and day out on how we can help our students be stress-free. Yeah. So I have an active social life there as well. So in all of this, I make sure that my energy levels are taken care of. Right. Sudarshan Kriya is definitely the contributor for it. That's why I keep saying that's the best investment I made when I was 23. When I was 23 and I said, I'm going to learn meditation, a lot of people said, what? At 23, you want to learn this? This is for retirement. Yeah. You should do all this when you are 60. But today, when somebody says that, I ask them, listen, when do you have life in front of you? Do you have life when you're young, or do you have life, remaining when you're 80, 90? Right? So even if you're 60, hey, you should be looking forward to post-retirement life. Right? So definitely Sudarshan Kriya has been a game changer for me in my life. And just like that, to the 10,000 students that I have taught in the last so many years, to the millions who currently practice it right now as we talk. Yeah, so that's the thing. Link for Sudarshan Kriya. Yes, I can share that with you. See, to find out more about Sudarshan Kriya, I will send you something possibly, but feel free to drop me a WhatsApp and I'll send you the registration link. I don't have that handy with me right away. I will give you a link to the program where you can learn that. That's not a problem. Can you please list Satvika, Ahara, Satvika, Rajsika, and Tamsika foods list better? Absolutely, sure. So Sattvic food is food that is freshly cooked. Okay, so freshly cooked food, food itself is like a big chapter. Okay, it's a big session that we can do. Yeah, but talking about food, Sattvic food is food that is cooked fresh. It is cooked with a lot of positivity in it. Yeah, which is why simple rice and dal or curd rice and pickle at home is 10 times tastier than eating every day outside. And for those of us who have eaten outside, we know it. When you come home, why does it feel good? Because the mothers put so much love into it. The wives put so much love into it. The fathers put so much love into it. The husbands put so much love into it. Yeah, which is why the food tastes better, even if it is very, very simple at home. Yeah. Now the same thing, when it is freshly cooked vegetarian food is Sattvic. Okay, it's filled with energy in it, right? And Rajasic Ahara is something which induces restlessness. So anything in extremes increases the restlessness in you. Caffeine, yeah? Too much coffee and tea increases restlessness in you. Yeah, too much of spice, too much of salt, too much of astringent, the puli, the tamarind kind of taste. Yeah, too much of that, too bitter, too oily, too much sugar. White sugar is, I'll tell you, the century's worst poison. Okay, as much as I know a lot of you will shoot me for saying this, but if you can stop white rice, white flour, okay, which is maida, which is all your bakery items, and white sugar in your life, the transformation is immense, immense. These three are poisons, direct poison. This can't get more vocal on than this. Yeah, so that causes a lot of rajas in the body. The third thing is tamasic food. Tamasic food is food which is a drain on the system. Okay, your body has to work overtime, double shift, to make sure that that particular food is digested and thrown out of the system. Yeah, see, for example, vegetarian food takes about 4 hours to digest. Whatever amazing uta you have, within 4 to 6 hours, you're ready for the next meal, right? But meat takes 72 hours to digest. Yeah, likewise, stale food is tamasic in nature. Cooking on Sunday, keeping it till Wednesday in the fridge, then eating it. All this induces tamas in you. Tamas is what? You feel lethargic, you feel lazy, you feel drag. Yeah, that every bit that you feel is a drain on your system, right? That is tamasic food by nature. You can have pizzas, but if you have pizza, how do you feel after eating the pizza? Feel full, extremely full. And it's not the blissful full, you feel the drained full. Yeah, that is tamas. It makes you lethargic, it makes you sleepy. Yeah, see, we need all of these in life. Like if I have to pick up this pencil, I have to move my hand like this, I need rajas in my body, otherwise it will not work. If I have to go to sleep in the night, I need tamas in my system. Yeah, it is not that you should only have sattva in your system. You need rajasic and tamasic as well, but you need only so much that is required for it. Anything more than that becomes detrimental to you. Yeah. So sattvic food is any food as a thumb rule: fresh fruits, vegetables, vegetarian food, cooked fresh, cooked with a lot of positive energy. That is why, there's a tradition that people sing while cooking. Why? Because the mood is good. If you're going to constantly go to that darshini where that fellow is going to keep complaining, and samblane kodalla, you're ban tintane irtare, hakappa innandishtu benne, what is going to happen? It'll all just triglycerides inside your heart. Yeah. So food cooked with a lot of love is sattvic. Rajasic food is food which is restless, and tamasic food is food that makes you very dull, drain, heavy. You'll know it when you eat it. You'll know what it categorizes of. Yeah. Very good. Any other questions? I think we had somebody raise their hand as well. Very nice. Good. So awesome. Please feel free to fill the feedback form. I trust you have enjoyed the session. For those of you who would like to learn the Sudarshan Kriya, you're welcome. Yeah, we will be having a program in the next 2 weeks that we'll be teaching. And that I think I will also be teaching that particular program. My number is on the chat. Please save my number and you can drop me a WhatsApp and I'll send you the registration link and you can take it forward from there. With that said, I'd like to thank all of you, first of all, for being amazing educators of the society. We've just had Guru Purnima that got over on Saturday. And as gurus of the society, I'd like to express my humble gratitude to each one of you for designing this future citizens of our country, right? What you're doing is definitely not a job. It's definitely service to the entire nation. And thank you so much for it. And with that, let me also tell you that for the amazing work that you're doing, please take time to meditate a bit, to refresh, recharge, regenerate yourself. And meditation can be that game changer. So wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Until that gets solved, I don't know.
Participants, any more questions? Okay. So I think we are coming to the conclusion of this.
Anvi ma'am, I'll send you this deck in like the next 5 minutes.
Yes, no problem, ma'am. I take pleasure in thanking
One
Srika for this.
second, I can't hear. I think it's the audio.
Oh, no, my only audio. I have not switched on video. I'll just switch on.
No problem. I know I had a problem with my audio. It was not, I couldn't hear. Yes, now I can hear.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Srikala for this wonderful experimental session on Sudarshan Kriya. For me, at least, it's first time I'm doing it online because I never join all this yoga or the stress management online. So it was a wonderful experience. I think all the participants also enjoyed it. Maybe we will come back with you for another session in our other workshops also.
Absolutely. I wish you all great health and thank you so much, ma'am, for coordinating this.
Thank you. Thank you, Srikala. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, participants. And there are some important announcements for tomorrow's sessions. So I think, as you all know, tomorrow morning we are having 2 sessions by Dr. Ashish Sahani. And then the afternoon, 2:30 to 3:30, we have valedictory and feedback from participants about the workshop in our online work. This feedback is different from the one which is in the portal. So all of you are requested to mandatorily fill the feedback form in the portal. As you all aware, and many of you have attended so many of Atal workshops, so you know that unless you give the feedback, they don't generate the certificate. And the test has been scheduled from 3:30 to 4:30. It is an objective type of questions, maybe from 30 to 40 questions. And we are giving an hour for it. So if any clarifications also, you can send to us in WhatsApp. Yes, thank you, participants. The sessions are closed for today. Miss Anjali, we have provided all the PPTs and all the videos. Please check your drive. In mail also we have sent. Yeah, we have sent till today, whatever we have got till the afternoon, we have uploaded, madam. I think all the participants also will acknowledge. Please check your drives. Whatever we have got till this today afternoon, including Dr. Cyril's, we have uploaded. Thank you. As and when we get, we are uploading. Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Because I am attending training for the first time. So
Yes,
for each session, we are filling the feedback form for the link which you are sharing in WhatsApp as well as here in chat. Other than that, we have to fill another feedback through Atal portal. Is it so?
You have to go to your participant login.
Okay.
With the mail with which you have registered. Please go to the participant login, and there will be the workshops which you attended will be shown. Please click on the workshop for FDP on machine learning techniques in VLSI design, and there will be a feedback pop-up. Please fill up the feedback. That will be enabled only after 11:30 tomorrow by the Atal portal. It is not by us.
Okay.
So it will not be active today. Maybe after 12 o'clock, 11:30 after 12 o'clock, it will be active.
Okay, madam.
That is why I'm telling from 2:30 to 3:30 during those sessions also, we will be reminding you to fill up that Atal portal. The earlier you finish that, the rest of the things will follow so that at the maximum by Tuesday, you can get your certificates. If that gets delayed, then the certificates get delayed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Ma'am,
Other
excuse
clarification?
me, ma'am. I have a question.
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, I registered through my college mail ID at the time of registration. But I am filling the feedback through my personal mail ID from first day
Who
onwards.
is talking?
My name is Pullarao.
Okay, sir. Sir, but you have registered with the portal also.
Yeah, I registered with the portal, and but while you are giving feedback from ma'am every day, every session.
Yes, sir.
That
That's no
feedback
problem.
form.
No, we are cross-checking with the Zoom attendance as well as the feedback what you are giving.
Yeah, okay.
We are
Mail only
cross-checking.
different, madam. Mail ID only.
Mail is different, but we are checking with the names also, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So Zoom also gives you an Excel sheet, so we are checking with all the three only. No problem.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You have been a very active participant, sir. So I know you better. Yeah, day before yesterday, and all you were asking a lot of questions. You made the sessions very interactive.
Chris, that Rajan sir's presentations are very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that's why I am telling, keep your feedback for tomorrow afternoons, please. About the workshop here. Yes, thank you.